Welcome to Demasked. My name is Fresman, and today I'm joined by Pumpkin Queen. How are you today?
Doing fantastic. How are you today, Frasman?
I'm doing very well. I've been very much looking forward to this interview. I actually had you recommended to me by a couple of people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun to hear.
So, how long have you been doing YouTube for?
um, about almost 3 years now, I think.
Hmm.
Yeah. I
Huh.
started my YouTube around Halloween, so I think almost 3 years now. Time flies.
Nice. So what made you want to do horror narrations, or did you start somewhere else and then move into horror narrations?
Yes. Well, I always like creepypastas and reading, so it always has been something that, well, I did. Not
Hmm.
like narrating, but I did enjoy reading uh, the stories and listening to other narrators a lot. And
Hmm.
I just graduated from my studies, that being, I am now a chemical analyst. And between my
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And between the exams, we also had English, of course.
Hmm.
The Netherlands is now, from Europe, the number one spot of, well, people who can speak English for the second. So we're pretty proud of that. Um, and I chose this as a form to, well, practice a little on my English. I myself am
There you go.
dyslexic, so I find it a
Hmm.
little hard to learn a second language. So I thought that this would
Hmm.
be perfect to start narrating, so I would also practice reading.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, you're doing better at speaking English than I am, and that's my only language.
thank you for the compliment.
Now, do you have? So I'm looking back through your stories that you've covered. Do you have a favorite, like an all-time favorite?
Oh, how strange it would sound. The latest story that I uploaded, The Horror from the Vault, is a story that
Hmm.
I've loved for years. And
Hmm.
I'm very proud that I finally got permission this year to narrate it. It was a long story, and it was a story
Hmm.
that I had to read from a book instead of my computer screen, so that was another experience. You
Hmm.
know, because you have to flip pages in between, like, oh, you have half the phrase here and half of the other phrase there. I don't know, I always find that to be very funny and confusing, and I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. But it is an amazing story because it isn't really told to you as in first person, but
Hmm.
it starts off with multiple emails that are being sent
Hmm.
about the sarcophagus that is found. Um, and eventually, the tests that are run on it by scientists who are emailing back and forth, eventually, this continues with police reports and people being interviewed one by one. And you'll get to know the story and what is going on in this city, and that there is a monster who has been unleashed throughout these interviews and emails that you're reading or, well, listening to as I'm narrating it. And it's
Hmm.
really interesting because I haven't really seen many stories who are created in such a way, which is why I loved it so much. And I hope that in the future I can narrate the other two stories who come after that, which are The Ash Clouds and To Grow a Garden.
Nice.
Yes.
Well, I see here you also cover some of the works by Poe, Edgar Allan Poe, and also the SCP Foundation.
Yes, yes. Edgar Allan Poe is one that I just started doing. So it's the first story. It's a very popular one, I believe, from Edgar Allan Poe. So any request, any help that would be amazing for the people who are listening. Like, this is a good story, then that is also a great help for me. But SCPs
Well,
are one that I've been reading a long time,
mm,
though. Oh, you
do you
wanted to
have
say
a?
something in between? Go ahead.
Oh, it's all good. Do you happen to have a favorite SCP?
Yes. Yes, I do. The Infinite IKEA is my favorite.
You know what? That's a good answer.
It's scary and hilarious at the same time. It's I don't know how they come up with it, but it's amazing. And there are so many more funny ones out there. Like it's I told creepy clown girl Sunday about the
Mm.
one from the rubber duckies, who's also great. Every ducky does something else, so that is also a really fun one to read. I amazing. But the SCP story from the Infinite IKEA is really cool because you have world building and everything inside this IKEA. From the outside, it's just, you know, it looks like your normal everyday IKEA, and inside is like a whole civilization going on. Wow! It was so fun to read. It it was an experience, really.
See, I made the mistake of going to an IKEA after reading that entry,
Oh,
and
what was it
and
like after reading the story?
I had this worry that I was gonna turn a corner and everybody was just gonna vanish.
Ooh.
Like, but it never happened. But I was just like that anxiety of like, what if this is the IKEA? What if this is the one?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, understandable, especially if you turn around and try to go back for the door and it isn't there anymore and you're just trapped. You're there now.
well, the one I'm not. I've never been to another IKEA. Like I've only been to the one near me, and the only way into the display area is up an escalator.
Ah.
But it's only going up. There's no down escalator. You have to do the full circuit to get out of the building.
Oh. Oh, then you're already trapped, basically.
Yeah. And that anxiety set in as I got on the escalator. I'm like, oh no. Like I can't go back.
The point of no return.
Yep. I've walked into my own proverbial Silent Hill. Ugh.
uh, Man, I have to try those games. The movies are good from Silent Hill.
I like the movies. I like. I'm sorry. I scroll through your channel and I just see
That's
SCP
fine.
3008. Huh?
Oh, that's fine.
Oh no! I just see SCP 3008, a perfectly normal, regular old IKEA. But there was one I read about. I can't remember the number on it, but it's a door with 12 keys, and if you pick the wrong key, you explode.
No, really?
Yeah, and for some reason that one stuck with me because it's like it's so easy to mess up.
But how will you know when you pick the right one? Or how to choose the right one?
Exactly. Apparently, according to the what's it called, the article, if you get the right key, you're able to unlock the door, and it's just a regular door. It's more the keys that are the problem.
Wait, it's just a regular door? It doesn't
Yeah.
lead to anywhere?
I think it's like a door on the side of a building.
Oh, so it's not like a secret passage or a portal to another dimension. Ooh.
It's just a way to get in the building.
Oh. They probably need a lot of employees.
Oh yeah. Have you played any of the SCP games?
I haven't myself, but I have seen a couple of playthroughs from one of the games where you can run through the building.
Was it the statue? Was it SCP-173 that snaps necks?
I believe
That
so.
that one, like reading the article isn't that terrifying, but when you're up against it in a game, it's terrifying. Well,
Yeah.
because the game compels you to blink, and every time you blink, it moves. Ugh.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So, do you, outside of horror stories, do you engage in any other like horror content? Like, do you watch scary movies?
Oh yeah, I love horror movies.
What's your favorite?
Oh, good question. Um, ooh. Probably Split is one of my favorites. It's really well done, especially because the leading actor was able to do so many different characters. Just by himself, and the story itself is about a schizophrenic man who kidnaps a group of 3 girls, and one decides to, befriend him, or at least tries to befriend a couple of his personalities, while also trying to escape with the other 2 girls. And on the side, we get to see his psychologist who is researching him and all the other personalities that are trapped in this man. And in total, there are about 23. All different people and all with their different things that they have going on, fears and everything. But they all fear one personality the most, and that is like this monster that they keep talking about. And that's the thing that you're going to see by the end of the movie. And I think it was a really interesting one to watch. It wasn't super scary, but I think if you were to be in the situation yourself, it would be very scary. And it was very well done. I really liked it. And maybe that is because I have watched Orphan Black back in the day when it came out, which was also all these different clones that were played by the same actor, which was phenomenal to look at. I don't know if you ever watched the series, but it's really cool.
I think I've seen 1 or 2 episodes. I still desperately need to catch up.
You should. It's a really cool series. Because, yeah, it's about clones, and they all eventually get to meet each other and try to live their best of lives together. Yeah. Yeah. It is really cool. I'm not trying to spoiler anything because I do that a little too quickly. By trying to sell you the story or the TV show, but I can recommend it, especially if you like a little bit of the sci-fi stuff. But that's something that I really enjoy watching. So,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
Have you ever watched? I think it was also on the BBC. It was called Psychoville.
Psychoville? No, I haven't.
It's it's very hard to describe. It's like a group of these characters that kind of have nothing to do with each other, slowly kind of being brought together through circumstance, but they're all just like weird, strange people.
Okay.
Oh, well, there's a character who's has he's considered, I hesitate to say schizophrenic, but he sees a person that isn't there, but it's like it looks like him, and it's like singing into a microphone, like like as loudly as it can, but he can't hear it.
Hmm.
And I don't know why, but like the visual that they had was that he's like talking to about it with his psychologist, and you can just see the guy in the background outside just like going crazy with a microphone.
Oh, damn.
But he's like out of focus, so you can't see him. It's terrifying.
That does sound terrifying. Wait, it's called Psychoville? I'm going to...
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm going to save it and see if I can find it.
Oh, I can't
Found
remember the
it.
name of it. There's a clown character that I like where he's just a kind of just a jerk, and that's his whole character.
I see it. Like, I looked it up on Google now just to see what kind of show it is. But yeah, I see the clown.
Yeah.
Ah.
I say I can't speak for the entire show, but I remember a good portion of it. Yeah, it's
I'll check it out. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's always the fun part, is recommending something horrible horrible to somebody.
Yes.
My favorite ones are you see a movie that makes you uncomfortable or something, and you try your best to, like, what's the term? You're trying to deter them from watching it, but it makes them want to watch it more.
Oh, okay.
It's just, I found a movie like that, and like it, and I don't say it ironically. It's just, don't watch that movie.
Like, is it in the iceberg? Like that? Or...
No, it's just a terrible movie.
Oh!
like there's no grander conspiracy. It's just I would rather nobody see this film. It's that movie 42.
42.
I think I got the number right. Oh, movie 43. Excuse me.
Right, because if I think of 42, then my brain goes to Hitchhiker's
Hitchhikers?
Guide to the Galaxy.
Remember, don't panic.
Yes.
That movie to me is a treat, because I watch it every couple of years and I love it.
A good bad
Well,
movie is nice. It truly
Oh
is.
yeah. Well, there's something about the intro where it's like, and in big friendly letters on the back of the book, it says, "Don't panic." Oh,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I have yet to read the books,
I mean,
though I hear good things.
yeah, I haven't read them yet either. I'm currently still reading Hex from, what was it? Thomas Oldeheuvelt, which is a horror book.
Hmm.
Can also recommend it. Just started this weekend. And
Nice.
so far it's really good. Didn't think I would enjoy reading a horror book by a Dutch writer, which is really awful to say since I myself am Dutch, but usually they're not that amazing. I have
Oh no.
I don't haven't found a lot of good books from my country, but this
Oh
around
no.
there are not that many out there. The funny thing is, there's a writer out there that female writer that is like the queen of thriller. You know,
Yeah.
she got the title, and I was like, oh, then I should definitely get a book from her. I don't know what was
Mm-hmm.
scary about it, but it was one sex scene after the other. And at the end of the
Oh.
book, someone tried to commit suicide, and I was like, oh, so that was supposed to be the scary part? It was that? Or what was going on? It was a
Oh.
really weird thing to read, and basically just that. Can't recommend it. And a lot of yeah, books are like that. So usually I keep myself away from books from my country and just see what others recommend me. But this one is really good, so that makes me very happy. They're even planning on making a movie from this book in America.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's about a little village that is cursed, and there's a witch that walks around the town. So
Okay.
I don't know if she's the one who cursed the little village, or what has happened in the past. But from what she is described, she has her eyes shown shut, so she can't see, and she has shackles all over her body. So
Oh
she
jeez.
hear her walking around, and she makes the same routines every week. And sometimes she just shows up in your house, and then she just
Oh, I
stays
don't like
there.
I don't like that one.
No, it's pretty good. I like it. You see the story out of the eyes of teenagers, so that is also a pretty fun thing.
Mhm.
So somewhere in the book, they're actually trying to prank the old woman. Not
Oh.
really the best thing to do. That is chapter 3, I think. That they try to put an obstacle in the way since she makes the same routines, and which is understandable since she's blind and can't see anything, and end up
Mhm.
walking at something and falls over, and they film it on the camera. And that, of course, sends a little havoc in town. So it's fun. It's funny, yet also scary. So it's a good book.
As I say, that sounds like if like it could be just especially after pranking a blind witch just uh, what was there was a do you watch any like horror content on YouTube like the ARGs or storylines?
The what?
ARGs, I think it's alternate reality games. It's essentially a story being told that the viewer can participate in.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, it and some of them are very in depth. A good amount of them you actually have to like go somewhere and find a clue and all that.
Huh.
But I for the life of me trying to remember what this story was. Oh man, I can't recall. I'm looking through there's a channel that covered it. I'm trying to find the name on it. Man, all right. But this guy had it. The story is like a guy buys this house out in the middle of the woods, and he starts seeing this woman outside, just kind of watching him from the out in the trees, and he gets footage of her on his phone, and this it's a really tall lady who's completely bald and has no eyes.
Oh.
Like, it's smooth where her eyes should be, and it just something about that just ooh.
Oh, man.
Well, cause she's standing there, and then he like makes a sound. She like turns to look at him.
Oh,
Like,
no.
oh, ugh.
Oh,
Great. Now I'm all like itchy.
if that would happen to me, I would make a run for it. Nope.
Yeah, just all right. I'm packing up. I'm moving out. See you later.
Bye.
Time to go.
It was fun. Nice to meet you, but I have to go. Goodbye.
So, do you it's hard to tell just from the what's it called, from the titles of the stories, but do you cover true stories as well, or is
No, I don't.
okay?
And that's because we had an incident a couple of years ago, I think. Well, yeah, a couple of years ago. It's been a while. Because a couple of kids actually believed the stories to be true. I think maybe you have heard of it. You can always Google it. There was the Waukesha incident. And because of that, I try my best to keep my channel fiction, so it doesn't... people don't start questioning if some stories are real or fake, and the younger audience that might pop up. I don't hope that a lot of young people watch my content, though, because it... it does happen. But it definitely isn't for, minors or the younger audience. But that way they don't get scared or do stupid things or try to reenact things that are being brought to the table. Because it has happened before. And not that we narrators or writers are at fault, but we can at least try to... protect them or try to make clear that that fiction and reality are two different things, and that we should keep it separated. And that's something that I try my best to do.
Well, if I recall, over here in the States, we had our own sort of event in the last couple of years. It was the Slender Man stabbing.
I think we are speaking about the same thing, yeah.
Oh, is it just under a different term?
Yeah, well, yeah. It happened in Waukesha.
Wisconsin. You mean Waukesha, Wisconsin?
Yeah. Oh, I pronounced it wrong. Sorry.
Oh, no. Like, I thought that was the name of the creature. I'm like, I have never heard of Waukesha.
It does sound fun now to use that as a creature's name.
That sounds absolutely terrifying.
I'll keep it in the back.
Summon the Waukesha.
I'll keep it in the back of my brain next time I write a story.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey. But yeah, that is the thing that I was talking about, the Slenderman stabbing.
Oh my goodness. sentenced to 25 years in the Winnebago Mental Health Institute.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow, wow.
oh, the girl's still alive. You know? I'm really glad that she
Mhm.
survived.
Well, I just wonder how the thought process is. You read a story, and then at what point does it get into your head that it's real?
I don't know. And maybe it's the fandom. I mean, I've met people as well that were really big fans and actually had their own headcanons for the creepypasta characters and were like, oh yeah, they all live in the Slenderman mansion together. And if you do this, they can become a proxy. And oh, I love Jeff the Killer. I wish him to be my husband. And that was also a person that I was classmates with, you know, in high school. That was creepy.
That
Yeah. You know, having him as a background on the phone and always talking about him. And I was like, you know, this happened and this is very weird that you're still talking about it. I'm gonna go a little that way.
Well, I think if I remember, Slenderman took off like right after I got out of middle school, and like I remember seeing the game that somebody made.
Oh, the 8 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I played that one a lot. That was fun. It was scary at the time. A terrible CGI, but it was fun.
Well, what was it? I wasn't there a movie? No, there's a couple of
Yeah,
movies.
there are a couple. Don't know if you watched the last one. I went to the cinema to see it.
Have you seen Marble Hornets?
Marble Hornets. Bits and pieces, actually. I
That
should really
that
sit down for it one day.
I've seen about half of it, but from what I can infer, so there was a written story about the Slender Man, right?
Yeah?
But Marble Hornets sort of pushed it into that bigger idea.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Also, where does a giant monster have the time to get a suit made?
I don't know. How does he
Hmm.
fit in? I don't know.
Who tailored that suit to him?
The forest fairies?
Or, what was the other one? There, you know what? There are a couple of like YouTube channels that are dedicated to
Yeah,
stories.
Everyman
Hmm?
Hybrid, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just Tribe 12. Let's see, with I think his name was Noah. Tribe 12. God, well, there was another one. Ah, shoot. The one time I can't remember something.
It's okay.
But
There.
well, oh thanks. Well, if I remember, Everyman Hybrid and Tribe 12 and like a small handful of channels all had like overlap, like they took place in the same continuity,
Mm-hmm.
and I find that fascinating. That like a group of like 15 people are all suffering from the same thing.
Right?
It's just, oh. Well, then there's the wrapping back around to like the SCP Foundation where it's even an object that could potentially cause an apocalypse if left unchecked. But
uh,
then they leave it in a filing cabinet.
truly a great choice. What can I say?
Oh, what was the oh there's one SCP that like you know how a good amount of them can be like joke entries.
Yeah, yes, I've seen a J once. Oh, you're
Have you
bringing
read the
me
one that's
ideas to narrate those.
or
I have read the one from the Plague Doctor. It's hilarious.
have you read I Am a Toaster?
No, no, not
Oh,
yet.
so I won't give away the whole thing, but the reason the entry is called I Am a Toaster is because it's a toaster, a regular toaster that toasts bread, but you are unable to talk about it in the third person.
Huh?
So instead of saying that is a toaster, you say I am a toaster.
What?
Yeah. And the longer
Okay.
you're around it, the more it begins to affect you as a person.
Oh.
And yeah, it gets. Mm. I'll have to send you the story,
Please
but
do.
it's like it's funny, and then there's a really horrifying moment, and then it gets funny again. What was that one? I think it's called the Everything Dispenser.
Everything. Oh, yes, I know that one. I haven't narrated yet, but I think I know that one. It's a machine that can give every drink that you ask for, right?
Oh yes, In, including if I recall, there was an incident where somebody said that they wanted a cup of Joe, which, to those of you at home, Joe is term for coffee. If anybody out there didn't know, um, but what the machine interpreted it as is a cup of literal Joe. So a security guard named Joseph suddenly lost a cup worth of fluid out of his body.
Oh. Well, you got what you ask for.
Yeah.
You know, you need to be more specific, but hey, you got a cup of Joe.
Yeah, can I get a cup of Joe? And you just hear some guy in the distance just, ah, ah.
Uh,
Oh.
on the other hand, I hope that it wasn't his blood. You know, if it was just to empty his bladder, that's not too bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even if it was his blood and not like the surrounding,
Oh.
artery muscle
Oh.
tissue, that I can see. Like he would probably pass out, but he'd be fine.
Yeah.
But if from the way the entry made it sound, it took like a cup shaped hole out of him.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
ugh.
Understandable that the man is screaming. Oh.
Oh. Now, question for you.
Yes.
What is the Pumpkin Queen?
Oh, okay. Um, interesting question. Yes. Wait. Not a lot of people asked that. I had some lore written about her at one point. I started creating Pumpkin Queen because I'm a really big fan of bleh, words. Yes. I'm a really big fan of the Nightmares Before Christmas. And
Okay.
that is kind of how that came to be. Pumpkin Queen has been like an online name that I used for a while, so I thought, I could stuck with that. There were other designs that I had created for her. But
Hmm.
I eventually came up with, well, what you see for my channel right now, which is a bit of a inspiration that I took from other Disney villains. Um,
Fair enough.
yeah. So, yeah, Pumpkin Queen is like a pumpkin head type of monster. I really wanted to have like a monster OC and not anything that is human.
Mm. Mm.
So she is fully made out of vines. No organs included, nothing. So her clothes that she wears is just to make her have a shape, or
It's
yeah,
holding all the vines
it's
in.
holding everything in place. if she were to, undress, it's just a sack of noodles. I have yet to draw that, and I really am tempted to draw her in the bathtub with like all the vines just hanging out of the bathtub and be like, yes, this is what I need
and,
today.
and the pumpkin's just kind of floating.
Yeah.
I well, so okay. Whenever I look at a person's channel, I always imagine like right now, I'm imagining I'm talking to a sentient pumpkin with a body made of vines. and, and then I had the thought, like when we were talking about the SCP stuff, I'm like, how do you even fight that? Like, what does combat with a being made of vines look like?
Oh, I have written that out, man. At
Oh
one
no.
point, I used to be in the amino when I first started. And I
Mm.
entered, those role play groups, getting to know other people in the community. And that was before I made a Twitter account and became friends with the people who I now know and other narrators. So I thought, that's a good idea. But with that also comes writing lore and everything for your Sona. And that wasn't a plan, but I did. I don't think it's on my Deviant art, but I did put it on my Artfight. Artfight, by the way, is a website that is a challenge type of thing that is like for 1 month every year in July. Everybody in,
Mm.
on the website gets split into 2 teams and they have to fight each other. Well, not actually, but draw each other's OCs, and that gives you points. And this year that was cyberpunk versus steampunk.
Nice.
Yeah. So that is where I kind of left the whole thing. For background story, I have it here. I can narrate it if you'd like.
I
It's
mean, if you'd
old.
like to.
Sure. My name is the Pumpkin Queen. At least that is my title. My real name I've forgotten over the years. I was born during the Middle Ages. A witch brought me to life, to be exact. After living with her for a few years, she was, like many others, burned to death. My hatred for humans is because of this. That is why I get at other That is why I get at other creatures and monsters to take over the city and the castle of the landlord. Since then, I've sat upon this throne, and nothing will stop me from killing every last one of the humans, like the ants they are. So, a little bit of the roleplay. Yeah, it sounds like she indeed has like this really big hatred for the humans, but eventually that was something that I could grow the character through the roleplay. Because there were different factions, fantasy, aliens, and also humans. And it was, very nice to have first be all like, no, I don't want to talk to you and be with you guys. and her being like this, living in this closed off little village, and eventually warming up to the others and seeing that humans are not as awful as they used to be.
There you go.
And that was really fun.
I really like that backstory.
Thank you. So there are other fun things, like I wrote like where was it? Here. The landlord refuses to burn his body, but instead keeps the skeleton in the ballroom and mocks him every now and then. He's an awful dance partner.
Well, you're like you mentioned that the Pumpkin Queen has this hatred for humans, and I had the thought of like, I'm kind of dependent on them.
Yeah. No,
as a cursed mask. As a cursed mask, I need somebody to wear me.
But yeah, so that was like a fun thing to do, and I let her grow over time. So she is just started as a character who really didn't like humans during the Middle Ages, and eventually throughout the centuries started to love them and see them as an equal, besides, the monsters as a race. Yeah.
See, I'm glad there's, character growth, as it were.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, do you plan on making more backstory, or sort of continuing your own story, if that makes sense?
I might. And if people would love to hear more, then I probably will. I mean, I have written a couple of stories myself, some of them being Heartbreaker and Dream Reapers, which are the ones that I'm currently working on. But if people would love to read a story about my Sona, Pumpkin Queen, I would love to do that. Though I'm pretty sure that it's going to be more of a comedic story than a horror story.
I mean, it can go, hand in hand.
Yeah, it can. I mean, if you've seen movies like Cabin in the Woods, that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what you party people need to do at home is you need to get on Twitter and you need to pester Pumpkin Queen to write that story. 'Cause I want to hear more personally.
All right.
I guess so.
I'll see what I can do, what I can cook up.
When I have the time.
Mm-hmm. How about you?
What do you mean?
Well, your character. Does your character have any lore or things that make your character your character? Because, you have asked me the question, but now I'm very interested about you.
Well, for anybody at home who's a first-time viewer, hello, I'm Fresman. I'm the cursed host of Demasked, this here talk show host. But I am, for all intents and purposes, a mask on a host, repurposing their body to run this talk show. And yeah, I've been around the block a couple times, a couple thousand times, a while. Excuse me. Oh.
Oh.
But I I think the idea of a mask essentially like stealing bodies is interesting because it can lead to a lot of problems that need solving.
Ah, so you're like a body snatcher.
Essentially, yes.
Ah.
And I have started to write a sort of larger universe. Like personally, I'm not a narrator, but I'd love to. I like to write, and I you know, and I'm gonna see if I can't have like other people play different characters and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the mask itself is a character in that continuity. By no means is it the main character, but it's how do I word it? It's essentially I'm not a big fan of those stories where the main character or characters are perfect.
Ah, yes, understandable. Sometimes we call them Mary Sue's or Gary
Yep.
Stews.
Mhm. But what I've been doing is I've been making characters that I created the characters years ago, but I'm fleshing them out now through writing. But I'm also giving them very strict guidelines as to how they work. There are rules in place for each character.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's to avoid anybody suddenly gaining a new ability or something like that.
Okay.
Because I'm not a fan of that. It's like I didn't know I had this ability until this exact moment that I needed it.
Oh, like you see a lot in anime. Yeah.
Yep.
Like it's not that I hate it, but it's like it has become a trope and it becomes boring at a certain time.
Well, like with my mask, it's uh there are very strict rules as to how it works, and I didn't want to make a character who was indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm durable, sure, but I'm in no way indestructible. And I've even left a way in which the host can still be okay if they're injured.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're injured and you put my mask on, you assume my form, but in that process it'll heal whatever's ailing you, but any injuries incurred while you have my form will stay with you when you take the mask off.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And the only way I'm able to heal without um putting the mask on and taking it back off is if the person the host has what's the O negative blood type.
A negative blood type. Okay.
Yeah. Because it's suitably somewhat rare, and it's seen as the universal blood type, which like could work in my favor. Pardon me. But I'm writing a series of stories in which the mask has existed since like the dawn of time, but
Hmm.
it's just slowly made its way around the world. And I'm writing scenarios in which like the mask is recovered in like the Wild West and like the medieval ages and all this. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds like a well-written and interesting character.
Why, thank you.
Welcome.
Well, oh, well, on the outside of fiction, it's I had about a 40-minute argument with somebody as to why I wear a mask on YouTube,
Oh,
and the problem is it's simple. The reason is simple. It's because I think it looks neat, and I want to. That's it.
no more reasons needed.
Yeah, but then he just kept prying. He was like, "Well, what? Why are you wearing them? Like, are you trying to hide yourself from the world and all this?" I'm like, no, I want to wear a mask. That that, and as the years have gone by, I have a theory about the mask,
Let me
or at
hear it.
least how I think being faceless, as it were, or having that blank, expressionless face makes it easier to interview people.
Huh.
Not me talking to people, but them talking to me, because it's easier to look at a blank thing to talk to.
I guess so. It does make you a lot scarier.
Oh man, that's not the end goal.
No, that's
That
just my opinion.
well, that's something I've heard over the years. It's like, oh, are you like is your character like a serial killer or something?
What?
No, he's a talk show host.
A mask doesn't necessarily mean serial killer.
Yeah, I'm like, there's no murder involved whatsoever. I just talk about my cat and talk to people about their channels.
You have a cat?
I do.
Cute. What's the name?
He's asleep over there at the moment, but his name is Sterling.
Ooh.
He's a great big fat gray cat, and I love him to death. But he's kind of a jerk sometimes.
Ah, yeah, that does sound like a cat.
Well, he does this thing where he'll want attention, but then you give him attention, and then he bites you because you gave him attention.
What?
Yeah. He'll come over for you to pet him, then you pet him, and then he swats at your hand. I'm like, come on, man.
Ah, who knows? Maybe he wants to play.
I wish you'd let me know, because I have toys here for him.
Oh.
But do you have any pets?
I do. I have a bunny and a bearded dragon. So, if
I
I...
think you could combine those two.
A bunny dragon?
I was
Oh.
thinking bearded bunny.
A bearded bunny. Oh. That'd be interesting. That'd be very interesting, feeding crickets to my bunny.
Oh, that'd be terrifying.
Right?
It looks like a regular bunny rabbit, and then you put a cricket down and the tongue shoots out.
That'd be the killer bunny, you know, from Monty Python.
Oh, I warned you. What was the? Oh my goodness! Is it a bearded dragon? Oh man, there's a type of lizard that has a defense mechanism where it shoots blood out of its eyes.
Oh god, no, that's not a bearded dragon. I know that it exists, but it's not a bearded dragon. Because a bearded dragon literally creates a beard, like frogs do. You know? And it looks very funny.
Oh, here we go. Short-horned lizards.
Short-horned lizards.
are capable of inflating their bodies up to twice their size, resembling a spiny balloon. And then, if this proves insufficient, they shoot blood from their eyes. See, I need that.
I mean, it's cool, but
I mean, it's the best way to get out of an awkward conversation.
just hand over your lizard.
Give me your wallet, then.
Oh god.
You know, I'm calling it now. That's a new superpower that I want. Forget flight and invisibility. I want shoot blood from my eyes.
Hey, if you try hard enough, maybe. I've seen people
believe
shooting milk from their eyes.
If I strain hard enough, I can do it.
You can do it. I wouldn't try it though, or advise it, but you yeah, sure.
Gonna try it live on air. Now, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Oh, interesting. I probably would like either flight or invisibility.
Alright.
Flight would be come in handy, with traveling. And, it's fun. I don't think it would be very, would come in handy if you have wings and you need to sleep. That's always something that I would ask about, when you see characters with wings on the back. Because I have no idea how they can, get through the day with them. But it sounds cool.
Oh, man. I remember there's, you ever read the X-Men comics?
I haven't. The only comics that I've read from Marvel are the Spider-Gwen ones.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, there's an X-Man named Angel who has big, like, white feathered wings.
Okay.
And they explain that when he's not using them, he has, like, a harness that he puts on that, like, ties his wings to his back.
Oh. Yeah, that would do.
I mean, how do you get around without it looking like you've got, like, a big lump on your back with your wings jutting out, you know?
Well, it already sounds strange with the harness. I mean, how does that look?
Man, well, was it oh god. Well, speaking of superpowers, if I had to, there's a version of flight that I want, but it's not technically flight, if that makes sense. It's not like Superman, taking off.
Oh, okay.
I want to be able to shut off my personal gravity.
Oh, like Uraraka can do in My Hero Academia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
But I want to be able to do that without having to, like, focus. Just like, and shut off, and then just kind of float around the room.
Oh, that sounds fun too.
Well, I figured in that way I could just jump and then turn my gravity off and then just, like, sail to where I need to go.
Well, as long as you don't sail towards the sun, you'd be fine.
Well, that's when I turn the gravity back on and just fall for a bit, and then...
Splash.
Just aim for a lake.
Oh, yeah, that's an idea.
Oh. Well, my only problem is that I'm terrified of heights.
Well, that's not gonna work, is it? Or you have to do really small floaty pieces.
I mean, if I just float along like the what's it called, the sidewalk, that'll be fine.
Yeah, then you'd be fine, yeah.
No, oh, all right. I have a question for you.
Okay, let me hear it.
What is your greatest fear?
Ooh. Um, Probably, yeah. Things that I fear. Yeah. Things like letting people down, loud noises, stuff like that.
What
It,
happens if you let somebody down with a loud noise?
oh.
Uh oh, did I just
Probably
stumble onto.
panic and stress.
Yes, did I just stumble on a new fear?
No, we don't want to combine them now, eh?
Well, oh, somebody did that to me. I told somebody that I've got some of the classic fears. I'm afraid of the dark and like heights and whatnot.
Ah.
But I'm also terrified of spiders.
How does that hold you
And
up? You know, having a
what's up?
Well, you know, if you have a spider in your room, how do you deal with that?
Oh, I can if I see it before it gets to me, that's fine. But like I had a night where I'm at my computer and a spider just decided to descend from the ceiling right in front of my face. And it was one of those big
Oh,
house spiders.
no.
Yeah, so I was just like, and almost like fell out of my chair. Oh. But
Uh,
no, if I see it on the wall, like across the room, then I'll get up and smash it. Because
Smash
for some
it?
reason, yeah,
What did the spider ever do to you?
invaded my home.
Spiders are friendly and they eat mosquitoes and other bugs. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. I'll leave Daddy Longlegs. I like those ones.
Yeah.
But it's the gross like wolf slash house spiders
Oh,
that.
yeah.
mm. But I'm. I know you can't see me, but I'm cringe. My arms are like cringing at the thought of it. My arms are retreating into my torso like a turtle.
It's
But
fine. There are probably no spiders around. Or maybe you have to check a little.
I'm literally staring at one right now.
No, seriously.
But it's a daddy long leg, so
Okay, then
you
you're
can stay.
fine. No
You can
funeral
stay
needed?
there for
Okay.
now. Yeah. Well, I think what makes me feel better is that I think about the size comparison between me and a spider.
Ah.
So, when you crush a spider, you're essentially hitting it with something the size of a building compared to the spider. And I'm imagining like spider looks up to a hand just
There it goes, my
like
life. Goodbye.
yeah. Time to die.
Uh,
Oh. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of those surprise spiders that just kind of show up either on your bed or on your desk. Ugh.
the moment you close the fridge door, yeah.
Well, there was a night where I was in bed and I kept feeling like a tickling, but
Oh,
it was between like my torso and the bed. And I'm like, it's got to be like a hair or something that's poking up out of the mattress or something. And I sit up and I look down and there's a whole spider just kind of staring at me.
just chilling there.
Yeah, and I fell out of bed and I'm like, oh god.
Oh man, you're gonna hate me if I say this, but
Do it.
a fact about spiders and sleep is that you devour about 8 spiders in your sleep during your life.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you already
I almost
know. Oh, great. And I'm not giving you
I
nightmares or sleepless nights.
I
Good.
I say I'm painfully aware of that statistic. I In fact, I almost got taken out by a spider doing that.
No.
Uh huh. So I was a little kid, but a spider had made its way into my throat, right,
Oh, yeah.
and decided to bite me in my throat.
Well,
So
that's
I wake
weird.
up, yeah, and so I wake up to my airway closing,
Oh.
and thankfully I was able to wheeze out some air, and we went to the hospital and all that, and they gave me like a treatment for it and all that. But I just I don't know why it's such a it's such a what's the term? Such a vivid memory of I'm it's the next morning, my throat's killing me, and I'm playing video games while my mom is explaining what happened to my dad over the phone. So yeah, he got bit in the throat by a spider, and like she's like standing by the back door, explaining this, and I'm playing like Jet Set Radio on the Xbox. Good times, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, so my fear of spiders got put to the test recently.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, I got to go help sort of clean up a family member's house. Well, that house has a spider problem,
Oh.
like a massive spider problem. Like they're everywhere,
Ooh.
and so, and I'm glad in my family I'm not the only one terrified of spiders.
Uh-huh.
Because like I'm in the living room with my cousin, and we're just like stepping any of them we can find, because some of them are like black widows, so they need to go.
Yeah.
And we can hear like my aunt and my mom in the kitchen just like there's oh they're, because they're like opening cabinets, and there's like a cobweb in there with a spider in it, and they're like,
Oh.
it's just then I had my fair share of spiders just kind of appearing on my arms while I'm working.
Ah, damn.
You're like, all right, I'm gonna move this box, and I look down. There's a big honking spider on mine. I'm like,
Did the house by any chance have creeping ivy on the sides? Because then I can understand why there are so many spiders.
now creeping ivy. Are you talking about
You
like
know,
blackberry bushes?
you know what sticks to the house?
Let me take a gander.
I believe
I
that's
wonder
the name, at least.
wonder if blackberry bushes can attract spiders as well. It attracts bears. Oh jeez.
Oh man.
Um, spiders. Let's see.
But I remember my mother being in an apartment when she first started, living on her own. And, that apartment had creeping ivy that, nestled itself into the bricks and everything. But that also
Hmm.
meant that a lot of spiders used it to climb up. So from time to time, there were these big old spiders in her room, and she also doesn't really like them. So, yeah, that was my first thought when you said that. I was like, oh,
Oh
yeah.
no. Well, so the house I'm currently in used to have a bigger spider problem, like the big house spiders,
Yeah?
and it got to a point where you could find one every couple of minutes.
Oh, no.
and it's not like the same one that came back because I was smashing them. But I'd smash one, and then I'd turn around, and there's another one on another wall. I'm like, you again.
It multiplied.
Like an amoeba.
You think you got me? Think again.
It's teleporting at the last second. Nothing personal, kid. But like for us, it's usually like summer is when they show up.
Mm-hmm.
And so the minute everything starts to thaw, I'm like, okay, gotta prepare. Gotta be ready. Ugh. I don't like spiders, man. I don't like them. What's weird is my sister loves them.
She does.
Yeah. And I felt bad because she was trying to save some of them when we were cleaning up the house. And I'm just, like, not being mean about it, but I see one and I'm just like, smash. And she's like, oh no. Like, I'm sorry, I have to, or else it'll find me.
It will come back for round 2 when you're asleep.
Yeah. It'll bite me in the neck again. Oh. Now that I'm sufficiently itchy. Oh.
Yes?
Oh. Now, do you have any animals / insects and or arachnids that you are afraid of?
I'm pretty much okay with bugs. I don't like cockroaches, but, I have a bearded dragon, so I kind of learned to set myself over it. Because, that's the food that I give him. Alive ones.
Mm.
But, still not a big fan of cockroaches. And especially what are they called? The really long ones.
Centipedes?
Centipedes, thank you. Those are
100
disgusting. No, but really. They're long,
I agree.
their legs look very sharp, which is weird. And I'm glad that there aren't any in my area. You're not going to find those, but, whenever you see one in the movie, you're just like, glad that I'm not you. Thank you.
Just, God, if I remember, there was a movie where you see like a giant one of those,
Oh.
and you can like hear it.
No.
Yeah.
Now I'm
Welcome.
cringing. Thank you.
There's a movie from my childhood that I refuse to watch nowadays.
That is?
8-Legged Freaks. It's about giant spiders.
Ugh.
Like people-sized spiders.
People-sized spiders.
Yeah.
Oh, so like the coconut crab? Would it also be featured in there? Because that one is also kind of big if you think about it.
Coconut. Oh, is it that
Yeah.
terrifying monstrosity? Oh. And typing into Google coconut crab. Thank you, Google, for immediately knowing what I'm talking about. Ah, God. It's the spiders in the spiders in the movie are bigger than that.
No, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then you have all the reason to be terrified.
Yeah.
Because coconut crabs are big. They're big and they're freaky.
I'm more terrified of Yeah, these spider crabs. Have you seen those?
Spider crabs. That are, wait, there is another kind?
They're these. It's these crabs that have huge, long, gangly legs,
Oh,
and they're massive.
what are they called?
Spider crabs.
Oh, that is literally the name.
Yeah, and I
Uh,
it, so my
thanks,
local
Google.
aquarium. Welcome to Google. At
Welcome
my
to the internet.
yeah,
Have a look around.
anything that brain of yours can think of can be found. But I so at my local aquarium at the coast, they have a tank with a spider crab in it. But what creeps me out the worst out of anything is that there's no other fish in that tank.
Oh,
It's just one massive spider crab alone watching you. I don't like it.
that's a kind of sad thing to do. Is it lonely?
I You know what? I think it'll be fine.
It'd be fine. Oh, watching people, thinking about all the
Planning,
planning, scheming.
planning, waiting. Like, oh god, like, well, the last time I was there, I think I was there with my dad, and we're staring at this thing, and I'm thinking it, but then my dad says it out loud. He goes, "I'm waiting for it to like charge at the glass." I'm like, me too, man. It's I gotta close this tab. It's I'm getting really itchy.
Yes, let me do the same. Damn.
Ow, my back. But I think but so we are closing in on an hour and a half now, and we've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
haven't we?
We have, yes.
But I think with that, the discussion and horrifying realization that there are massive spider crabs out there.
Ugh.
mm, mm. Gotta stop my body from like cringing. But
It's fine, they
with
live
that-
in the sea.
but I'm very close to the sea. I'm like an hour's drive away from the sea.
Well, rest in peace.
Yep. Then watch like the local news is like spider crabs now found in lakes nearby.
Ugh.
No, not like this. They're now considered freshwater. No. Ugh. But I think I think with that horrific mental imagery, we shall call this here interview to a close. Pumpkin Queen, it has been amazing having you on. It has been a joy.
It has been a pleasure as well. Thank you for having me on, Fresman.
Of course. And I have one last question for you before we close out here today.
All right.
If asked, would you like to be a return guest later on?
I'd love to.
Fantastic. You wonderful party people at home, please consider checking out Pumpkin Queen, and both on Twitter and YouTube. Links will be in the description below this here video. Is there a video that you are particularly proud of, Pumpkin Queen?
Ooh, yes. If possible, go check out, wait, I'm looking it up. The videos from Papa Grande. I've worked on it with a lot of other narrators, and it's been a big collab. And I've put a lot of work in it. It's really cool, and the story itself is really well written. The story that first happens is the magic show from hell. Maybe some have heard of it, since Mr. Creepypasta has also narrated it. And the writer is actually also a friend of mine, Mystical Sorcery. So please go check out the narration and also the writer if you have the time, because they're also
Nice. And
pretty neat.
you said the story is Magic Show from Hell.
Yes.
Okay. But with but thank you again, Pumpkin Queen, for coming on, and thank you, party people, for sticking around as long as you have. This has been a joy, and maybe, if you feel like it, consider subscribing. I don't know. Maybe we just just got over 200, and we can keep that going.
Go check him out. He's a lot. He's a very fun person.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. And but it has been wonderful talking to you, Pumpkin Queen.
Thank you.
And I hope that the wonderful party people at home go check out your stuff. I hope to hear more stories about your persona, as it were. And with that, this has been Demasked. My name is Fresman, and I will see all of you next time.